All right, now the armpit story. And Roxanne is terrified, mortified. She doesn't want me to reveal the individual who's responsible for the armpit issue. All right, Roxanne, this really sticks with you, doesn't it?
Okay, so yesterday I went home.
Little bit of a heads up, little bit of a preview.
Yeah.
All right.
So yesterday I went home and I told Doug, I told the guys about the armpit thing issue after the party, and I made a big mistake because I know MJ's going to want to talk about it, and he's like, the story is too good not to tell.
Oh man!
Has she told you, MJ, who the person is?
No.
Because okay, MJ.
I have a very good idea.
That was sketch.
Yeah, so
No.
you had a conversation with Doug at home about the armpit story.
Yeah, and I was like, I made a huge mistake. I opened my big mouth and told them, and he's like, no, you have to tell that story. It's a great story.
And Doug.
And armpits.
All right, tell the armpit story.
All right, so went to our work holiday party, had a wonderful time.
This was on Friday night,
Yes.
the 16th.
And you and I missed each other because you got there early and I got there.
I popped in. I wasn't going to show up because we were leaving for our Christmas vacation. We were leaving. We had to be at the airport at like 5 a.m. on. So I didn't even know if I was going to show up. But it wasn't terribly far from my house. It was over at Rocky Point at that. What's the name of that place?
Water. Or is it water? What is it? It's a hotel.
Anyway, it's over at Rocky
Egypt
Point.
Lake?
No, it's not Egypt Lake. It's a Rocky Point.
It's a Rocky Point.
Yeah.
So we roll over. I roll over and I pop in for about 20 minutes.
It was at the clubhouse at the post Rocky Point apartments.
And then we just broke in. And then Roxanne shows up after me. So I missed you. So what happened?
You really missed it. The party really got rocking. People were dancing, doing karaoke, and it was just fun. And we'd leave. That was a great time. Your coworker's so nice.
What about when Pat, our traffic guy, threw up all over the chicken, chicken satay sticks?
Dude, that's a deal because they had like an open bar there, and I heard like rumblings of like really excited employees with issues in the week leading up to the party, and like, hey, you going to the party? And like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And like, open bar, and I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Pat said that to me.
Yeah, I know. An open bar.
All right, so Roxanne, the armpit.
Okay, so we're driving home, kind of recapping, and Doug's driving the car, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh man, do I stink? Because I can smell body odor. Okay, so
Ew.
I start, I'm
And can you detect that like, it's not yours?
No, I can't.
So
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right.
Yes, just don't. What do you always tell me? Don't jump ahead, MJ. Okay,
Whoa.
so I'm like,
Were you
yes.
imitating me?
Was that your MJ impression? It's actually really good.
So I say, what? Do I stink? And I had,
You're driving home and you're whiffing yourself.
Yes, I'm sitting in the passenger seat. So I'm mostly worried that I'm offending Doug. So I'm sniffing. I'm focused on my my left armpit. I'm like,
So you're like sniffing yourself?
yeah. And then he's like, no, you're fine, Roxanne, you're fine. And I go, smell my armpit. He's like, no, that's gross. I'm not going to do that.
Smell me.
Well, then I start to think, is it you, Doug? And then I'm like, let me smell you. I'm trying to smell his. He's
So
like,
now
get
you
away
start
from me.
sniffing Doug.
Yeah, get away from me. So then I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I forget about it. We get home, and then he goes inside. I'm going to drive the babysitter home. So I don't even go inside. I just switch, and I'm in the driver's seat.
Does the babysitter say, oh, my God, what is that smell?
Yeah. So then she gets in the car, and we, chit-chat or whatever. I'm in a driver, did not have a creepy guy drive her home. And then
How old's your babysitter, by the way?
So this babysitter is young. Is
this the attractive one?
They're all attractive, but she's 13. Maybe?
Wait a minute. Oh, my God.
Wait, no.
This is so weird.
No, you showed me a picture of like a 25-year-old.
Froggy's asking about the attractive 13-year-old
No,
babysitter.
no.
What kind of a creep are
No,
you?
she showed me a picture of a...
I did. I
She goes,
showed
look at my nanny, and it was like some 25-year-old blonde.
Yes, yeah, and so
Not a 13-year-old.
All right, so you're driving the
She's new.
13-year-old
She's new.
babysitter
Right.
home.
And so
I feel really uncomfortable with this whole story.
Let's finish the story.
I'm driving, and then as I'm talking to her, the smell is getting stronger while
It
I'm
is
talking
getting
to her.
stronger?
So then the fact that the smell is getting stronger makes me think it's me. It's got to be me because I'm just sweating more, I guess. And then I'm like, I guess I have a new sweat smell. And so anyways, I'm horrified.
You picked up a new, completely strange body pheromone at this party.
Wait. Okay. So I get to her house. I see her dad, who I haven't seen in a long, long time. He comes out to the car. I hug him because I don't, and I do like one of those like arms tucked hug, like a little flipper hug, because I'm worried now at this point that I stink. So I stand out and talk to him for X amount of time, get back in the car, and then my first thought is like, could Mike smell me? Does he think? And so I start smelling myself, and that's when I realize, because now this is the first time I'm alone with myself, and I can really get in there, focus on my right side. That's where I'm like, is it coming from the back seat? Is there something in the back seat?
So finally you like zero in on the source of the smell.
Is it coming from the back seat?
And
What, do you have like a middle-aged lady bound back there?
Dead fish.
we've traced the smell. It's coming from the back seat of the car.
Get out of the car now.
All right. So you determine that the smell is on you.
I realized.
So
all of a sudden it's on my right side.
So
That's why I picked it up more when I was talking to my sitter.
You zero in and you
Track it.
focus. So as you're driving, you're obviously talking and you're like looking at your sitter in the passenger seat. So then you have
That's why I was getting a bigger whiff.
more exposure to your right side.
Yes. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, it is me. It's on me.
Ew.
And then I get in there, and it's not my. I can
It's kind of like when
armpit.
it's kind of like when you smell dog poop and you start checking like the bottom of your shoe. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what's going on here? Oh my god! All right, go ahead.
So I get in there. I'm like, wait, no, I smell my sweat, okay, but I still smell it. I move up a little bit. Is it in my hair? It was on my shoulder.
All right, so
on my
the
shoulder.
stench is coming from your shoulder.
And the entire time
We've zeroed in on the
Yes.
stench.
the entire time I'm going through this mystery in my head. You know, the olfactory files in the back of my head are like, that's not your scent, Roxanne. So I knew that. So anyways, what happened is somebody must have given me a hug, like a real strong
No, that's
armpit
not what you
hug.
told me
Oh,
yesterday.
What are you talking
No,
about?
no,
That's exactly what I
no,
told
it's
you.
not.
Okay, don't
it's
say
not.
it. Don't say it so, like,
it's not. Hold on.
unscientifically.
No, it's. Hold on a minute, Roxanne. I'm not going to mention the name of the individual, but you got to tell the story right. Don't try to correct it on the air. What Roxanne told me was that somebody hugged her at the Christmas party,
Right.
and that person is a little taller than Roxanne. Their armpit, they were wearing like a strapless dress, and their armpit was right on Roxanne's shoulder. It
was a
so
female.
that's when it was a female. So a female pit stank was transferred onto Rox. So we have a bare, sweaty, nasty armpit from a female employee at the Christmas party, as that armpit then cups Roxanne's shoulder and transfers this horrific BO.
Listen, no,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I got to look at pictures from the party now.
Listen, I've gone from being a semi well-liked person to this story being a hated person in the building, because now everybody's going to think that it's,
All right,
that
stop
it's them
being
or
so
whatever.
self-conscious.
But I have to tell you, I'm not like making fun of this, because look at my armpits right now. I mean, I'm sweating like a pig in here.
All right,
It's
stop.
a
Stop
natural,
trying to-
it's a
stop.
natural bodily function.
Just
But
tell,
it was very
just
comical.
tell the story.
Somebody
Stop-
smeared you with their armpit juice.
Stop being so concerned that you're hurting someone's feelings. We're not mentioning the name.
What do you think
Who's
they're
the
going to
pig
stop
pen?
asking you to
All
do
right.
the home show commercials or something, Roxanne?
Just because Roxanne gets into this mode of, oh my God, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Oh, I need to change the story. So, I mean, the fact is that she had a direct armpit on her shoulder, and there was a transfer of pit stank that I think, does it still linger?
Well, the interesting
nobody
thing
wants
is, the interesting thing is, so then think about it. I went in to hug Mike, the dad of the sitter, and I hug him like with down pit, like down elbows, so as not to get any of my armpit
Oh,
towards
you
him. 'cause I think
could have
that's
then.
what it-
This is how
I-
like COVID spreads.
Right, and
You could have
instead I get, like, a
transferred the
nice-
pit stank onto him.
I gave him full shoulder is what I did, and that's where the smell was coming from. So he totally probably thinks, well, Roxanne had a good time at that party, sweating her pits out.
No, he probably thinks that you're a.
All right, hold on. Was it body stench, or was it
was
just
just
hold
the-
on? What was
yeah.
it? Hold on. Or was it somebody else's deodorant or somebody else's just scent?
It was someone else's scent.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
Roxanne told me that if you were to apply like the Seinfeld BO storyline from the car with the valet guy or whatever, that it was worse than that.
That is your
Accurate.
description.
that is 100%
That
accurate.
is
All right.
that is your language right there.
Before I move on, Michelle just texted me. Michelle just said, did Roxanne just call Doug a creepy guy?
See, I picked up on that, but you glossed over it. Roxanne
No,
was-
he's not a creepy guy.
Hold on. Well, Roxanne was talking about Michelle. I'm so glad you brought it up because I caught it, but she went on so fast. I couldn't go back.
Roxanne, you said that you drove the sitter home because you didn't want some creepy guy driving
why?
the 13-year-old
Okay.
sitter home. So the only other person that could have driven the sitter home would have been Doug, your fiance.
Listen, I
And you
was
said
a
a
sitter.
creepy guy.
Okay. Doug is not a creepy guy, but when I was 13 years old, I had the dads would drive me home from babysitting, and I always sat there in the front seat thinking, this is a weird situation. Like, I always thought to myself, what am I going to talk about with this person? This is awkward. So I don't want to put sitters through that because at the 13-year-old, Doug probably is. I mean, he's not creepy, but he's an older guy to them.
I don't want to put Doug through that, sitting with a 13-year-old
Oh,
kid who's not
how
yours.
annoying.
But the way you said it, like, I wouldn't want her to get driven home by a creepy guy. I'm thinking
Because-
the only other person in the house is Doug.
That's what Michelle heard.
That's what all 13-year-olds think about guys who are over 21.
Yeah, and you, apparently.
Can we guess who the person is or no?
I have a guess.
I have a guess, too.
Oh, Fester's been writing guesses and scribbling guesses to me the whole.
Roxanne is mortified that we're going to reveal
I'm not.
which one of the
I'm right.
employees here at the radio station apparently has toxic pits.
Like, not
It's
toxic
not.
pits.
No, just
It's just a different
yes,
scent.
a different scent.
But it was apparently just very bad.
It was just. It was.
It's
It's
so
like I said.
Fester
look,
and Froggy
I'm sitting
are
here
writing
pitting-
down. Fester and Froggy are writing down names.
Hang on. Froggy disagrees with my answer. Roxanne seems very uncomfortable around my answer.
No. You guys are off base. No.
That was my guess.
No.
She's a hugger.
As I say this story right now, my pits are sweating so bad. So
I know who it is.
I am in that company with that person because
Is it
you know.
Rhonda Castro?
Oh my God.
No, it's a female.
Oh, she was wearing a dress.
It's a female wearing a strapless dress.
a tall
That
female.
that touched her pit to Roxanne.
That's
Put-
disgusting.
Hold on a minute.
dude.
Put your pit on my shoulder.
It smells like duty.
I got to move
Listen,
on here.
all of our armpits don't smell good.
Mine
We're just
smell
used to them.
All right, Roxanne, you're so sensitive. You got to just sometimes go in for the kill and tell the story
you do
and
that.
not be all self-conscious.